Gorilla Tag fan games are one of the biggest parts of the entire Gorilla Tag community itself. But have you ever wondered, will there be a Gorilla Tag fan game that's better than Gorilla Tag? Today, I'm going to be giving you reasons why there will never ever be a Gorilla Tag fan game that ever reaches the popularity of Gorilla Tag itself. First, let's just state all the obvious facts. First, and the most obvious one, is Gorilla Tag is extremely popular. Gorilla Tag is one of, or if not, the most popular VR game of all time. Also, Gorilla Tag is an extremely original game with its original mechanics, the cosmetics, and even the design of the maps and the decorations. They're all unique to Gorilla Tag. Gorilla Tag has frequent updates, and their updates are usually good. Gorilla Tag is simple but just fun. All you do is tag, paint brawl, hunt, or just, talk to people. Look at cosmetics. There's so much to do, but it's also really simple. Gorilla Tag also has a large community filled with artists, animators, everything. It's a huge community, and it really helps boost the game, brings popularity to it. Now with all the brutally obvious stuff out of the way, let's talk about the smaller things that really make the difference. I'm going to be talking about all the special things that Gorilla Tag does, and I'm going to be talking about the general fan games and some of the more popular ones like Capuchin. First off, Lemming is a really smart guy. He knows what to do with Gorilla Tag. Lemming knows what to add to appeal to everybody. He knows how to advertise his game, who to hire, all of that. Lemming knows the importance of the community. He has moderators, he hires developers from the community, and he also gives Finger Painter, which inspires people to make content about the game to try to get it, which promotes his game. He's a smart guy. And with this large community, he can just take a recommendation from anyone and add it to the game, and everyone will love it. He has a smart community where if he's out of ideas, he could just go to the community. The problem with fan games is they're never as popular or original or unique as Gorilla Tag. They all basically share the same thing, and that's why they can never grow a big enough community to get more popular than they already are. Also, since Gorilla Tag is such a large game, Lemming has to think about what he adds. Meanwhile, in fan games, they'll just really add whatever they want. Think about it. Most people that make the Gorilla Tag fan games, they're just like kids or young adults. And they're not as professional as Lemming and his team. And another Axiom, they know what to add that will benefit everyone and won't drive anyone away. First, let's talk about projects. Some of them are called stuff like Project Restart is a big one. I think there's Project Doug. Basically, the Gorilla Tag knockoffs. They literally take every single asset from the game, put it in their game, and the only difference they make is they add prime bottles as a cosmetic. They're unoriginal, and some of them aren't fun. And the way they bring people in is with mods. Basically, they bring people in by implementing crappy mods, literally copy and paste camera mods. And people want this because they don't have access to mods in real Gorilla Tag, but they still want to play with them. Let's talk about fan games that aren't copy and pastes. First, let's talk about a typical Gorilla Tag fan game. The most popular example of a typical Gorilla Tag fan game is Cebus. Usually they have an unoriginal currency, purchasable mods, a crappy horror mode, and unoriginal maps. That's the typical Gorilla Tag fan. Most fan games have a horror mode, and it's not usually scary, it's usually pretty crappy and unoriginal. For certain games like Big Scary and No More Rainbows, the horror mode is fine. No More Rainbows, the horror mode is actually good and original, and for Big Scary, that's the entire point of the game. But otherwise, it's usually just a crappy add-on because they couldn't come up with ideas, and it's easy to bring in content creators because everyone likes seeing little kids playing a horror game. Most of these fan games don't even have a point. The point of Gorilla Tag is to play tag or paintball or all of that. Meanwhile, there's not a point to games like Cebus and Capuchin. All you really do is just hang out. Okay. That's problem number 2. The first problem is the fact that they're usually pretty unoriginal and crappy, and the second one is the fact that there's really no theme to the game. It's just kind of there. Real quick, let's talk about 2 of the biggest Gorilla Tag fan games, Capuchin and Mischief. Now, what do these 2 Gorilla Tag fan games both have in common? You said they both have monkeys in them, you're correct. But also, both of them kept shutting down due to hackers or other reasons, and have taken a long time to get back up. This can discourage people from playing, and even just have them quit or forget about the game. A game like Gorilla Tag can't afford to go down, otherwise it would be a massive problem for everybody. That's problem number 3, the fact that these games just aren't managed well, and people don't really know how to run their games not very well, you know? Now let's bring up the topic about what I think the best Gorilla Tag fan game is, Penguin Paradise. Yeah, the game's kind of weird and the graphics are kind of mid, but honestly, it's a good game. It's original. They have a horror mode, but they also have places where you can hang out, ski. You could literally like be giant if you want. They also have basic things like sled racing, tag. They even have a PvP mode, which is super fun. My only problem is it's kind of pay to win. Like in the horror mode, you can have flying things while other people just have to run away on foot. Although for the tag game modes and the sled game modes, it's not really a huge. Basically what I'm saying is there'll never be a Gorilla Tag fan game that ever lives up to the original game. Basically what I'm saying is there never will be a Gorilla Tag fan game that'll ever live up to the original game. Creators of the fan games don't really know how to properly theme their games, how to manage their games, how to make it original. I understand that all of that is difficult, managing a game, being original, coming up with a theme, but you have to consider that before making a full-on game for people to play. If you're gonna release a game, it should be fun on day 1, otherwise people will already make assumptions about it and won't play it again.